NX CAD software training. Let's start the sketch environment. Now I have started with a new sketch. So here it is asking you to select the plane. So generally when we create any sketch, it will ask for which plane we are going to create it. Whether we are going to create the sketch in the front plane or right side plane or else in the top plane. So regarding this we already discussed in the earlier session. Those who not referred, please refer it. I will give the link as well in the bottom of this description of this YouTube video. Okay, now I'm going for the front view. So once you select it, the plane you got selected now which is your horizontal axis. So by default it will take the horizontal axis like a x-axis, and as I told earlier, the z-axis towards to us so that it will orient properly. Suppose it comes on the reverse side, you have to double click on this so that it will become reverse side. So if it comes like this, just double click on this so the z-axis will come towards to us. So selection of the plane is very important while you are creating any model. Even if you create any model in appropriate way, but the orientation of the sketch is wrong, means everything is wrong. You have to delete and you have to redo the complete model again. There is no other go. So that's why I am telling very clearly, please make sure that the plane selection what you do is according to your input drawing. The drawing how it represents front view means the same front view only you have to create it. If it goes, when you go for the right side view, whatever the view would comes, it should represent the what you have in the input drawing as well, industrial input drawing as well. So it should not differ from each other. That is why this sketch orientation is very important. If the sketch orientation is wrong, the model have to be redone newly only, no other option. Okay, so this is the first basic mistakes people will do when they are joining in the industry. So most of the people will do the mistakes in this scenario only. So that's why please take care of this plane selection appropriately according to our input drawing. Okay, so now we have selected the plane and now we have selected the axis. Now let's go for the OK button, and this origin method you no need to worry because of origin it's always use work part origin only, so you no need to change that. Specific point means suppose you are specifying some point means from here the sketch will start creating, so you don't do that. Always the sketch should create from the 0 position only. So use always use work part origin, do not disturb that option. Okay, all right, now I'm giving OK. Now we have entered into the sketch. Now you can see there is a profile. The profile of a line means this is the profile. The profile lets you to create the line as well as the arc option. Now let me introduce you. So line, I'm creating some lines here. Single line I have created it. Along with that some dimensions are coming. This is called continuous auto dimension. In NX we have a provision that whatever the lines or arcs or whatever we create, according to the length and the dimension will represent here. Suppose I am drawing a line like this, like this. Even if it is at an angle, it will create the angle as well. See, now I wanted to stop here so that my snap point, that is my end point is turned on. That's why it's selecting this end point directly. Suppose this end point is not turned on, means this option will not work here. See here. So now I will turn off everything. All the snap points I am turning off. It is not selecting appropriately now. So now I wanted to choose this end point, means you have to choose this end point like this. Okay, now I wanted to select this midpoint, means turn on only the midpoint option so that it will select the midpoint. It won't select the end point. Now I am turning off the end point so that it won't select the end point. It will select only the midpoint of this any of the line. Okay, see here. All right, now I'm selecting this midpoint, means it will select this midpoint. Okay, like this it will come. Now I wanted to select this midpoint, means it will come like this. Okay, now I wanted to stop this line, means press the middle mouse button. Now if you want to stop this line, means you can give finish sketch or else you can give OK. Okay, right. Now I wanted to delete this line means you select this line and press the delete key, or else select this line and make a right click and delete it. Okay, right. This is the way you can delete this. Suppose why these dimensions are shown in the ash color. That means these dimensions are continuous auto dimensions. You can see here the sketch is fully constrained with 11 auto dimensions. It is said 11 auto dimensions means the dimension whatever it came here. This is called auto dimensions. These dimensions we have to make it as a active dimension. Suppose I am making this 33. You just double click on this, the parameter will come. So this expression is p8 and it is 33. Now I am changing it into 50. Okay, now I made it into 50 and then I am giving okay. Press the middle mouse button. Now this continuous auto dimension, I have changed one of the dimension to be active dimension, so that 11 auto dimensions has changed into 10 auto dimensions. Generally, please remember that generally this auto dimension should not be used any of the sketches. So this auto dimensions will help you to create the dimensions instantly, but at the same time it is not recommended to use. Why, I will tell you. See, for example, now here you have a dimensions like this. So these auto dimensions lets you to constrain your sketch instantly, but at the same time this is not your design intent. Means it will create the dimensions um, according to the requirement of to do fully constraint. Generally, these auto dimensions won't fulfill our design requirement because our system doesn't know what we need. So that only to make the constraints, the system will take any dimensions by any direction. So it may not be in line to our requirement. So that only. Let's start the new sketch. Profile of a line means you can create a line continuously from one place to another place. Okay. This is called a profile of a line. Okay, suppose regarding the snap points also we will see now itself. Suppose I wanted to stop exactly to this end point means you can turn on only this end point and you can select this, so that the point will get added here. Okay, we can able to stop this endpoint to the exact endpoint. For example, I wanted to create a line from this place to this endpoint means turn on this endpoint, so then only it will get selected. See now even though now it is switched off, so that I am not able to select this point exactly. So whenever you need, you have to use this snap points. So now I want the endpoint means turn on this and select this. I wanted to select this endpoint means you can turn on this and you can select this. Suppose I wanted to go for this, I wanted to select this middle point means just turn on this midpoint option and select the midpoint. Okay, suppose I wanted to go for this on this line anywhere I wanted to place a point means just to select this point on curve option. So select this point on curve and select the line. So anywhere on this line the line will get selected. So where you click that place the line will get locked up. So now I wanted to select this point and curve option. I wanted to stop here. Okay, you can stop here. Like this you can do it. Suppose you wanted to complete this line means that means you do not want to continue this line means press the escape key, the line will get stopped. That's it. Suppose you wanted to start the line newly means go to the same profile, then you wanted to start where from you wanted to start it. I wanted to start from this end point means select this end point and you can continue working on the lines. I wanted to stop here means you can stop it. So for each and every line there will be a continuous auto dimension will create. You can see now there are lines which are created and as well as the dimensions also got selected. So this is called continuous auto dimension. Here you can see 20 auto dimensions are created for all these lines, lines and the length and as well as the angle is present. This is called auto dimensions. Regarding this auto dimension we will see in detail, but let us complete our options now. Okay, right. Alright, so this is about profile of a line. In the same profile of a line, we can create even the arc also. When you are about to create any lines, for example, now I am creating a line, few more lines I will create it, creating a line. I wanted to continue with the arc means you can click on this arc button. You can see here, click on this arc button, you can create the arc like this. And I wanted to continue with the, again it will continue with the line. Again you wanted to go for the arc, it will continue with the arc. Again you wanted to go for a line, you can go for the line option. Okay, suppose you wanted to continue with the same arc means you can press one more time this arc button so that the arc will get continue. Now I wanted to continue with the line means you can go for the line option. So like this the line can be created as well as the arc also can be created. This is what the profile of a line. So to stop the line, as I said, press the escape key, it will get stopped. So here lot of auto dimensions are created. So for each and every line and each and every entity, there will be a auto dimensions. Okay. So generally, this auto dimension should not be used anywhere. So this auto dimensions helps the designer to quickly constrain the object, but at the same time, lot of unnecessary dimensions will get created, and it won't be inline to your design requirement. So always we are working for the design that what we have now or else what we are supposed to create. Unnecessarily all these dimensions will create a unnecessary design intent, so that it will cause a major rework for our model and as well as the sketches. So don't use this continuous auto dimensions. This may be helpful only for the R&D people, those who want quickly to create some profile and instantly they wanted to check it means for them it may be helpful, not for everyone. Okay, so always avoid using these auto dimensions and use your own dimensions. Okay, how to do that I will tell you. Okay, I wanted to delete all the lines and all the entities, everything means suppose these are all the lines or comes under the curve option actually. So here you can see there is a filter option is there. So in the curve option you can select it. Control A means select all. You can select it and you can delete it instantly. Okay, so this filter option lets you to select only the curve and it will let you to delete it. Okay, right, now let's go back. Now we are going to see about rectangle. So now I'm creating a rectangle, you can see here. Now the rectangle I have created it here. I got 4 dimensions. One is this one, vertical dimension, one is horizontal dimension, and this length and this width I got it now. Okay, so what is this dimensions? As these dimensions are 4 auto dimensions are got created now. You can see here the sketch is fully constrained also. Many of the people will give the dimension. I wanted to make this line to be exactly to constrain to this means many of the people will use this zero constraints. Don't use this is the wrong concept actually. So don't use any dimension with the zero dimensions, because of we have to use in these places constraints only, geometrical constraints only we have to use it. Don't use this zero dimensional constraints. Okay, I did the undo, and at the same time to make these dimensions to be active, you wanted to make this means just double click on this. You do not want the auto dimension, you wanted to make this as an active dimension means make this dimension as double click on this dimension and give the value, so that this dimension whatever it comes as a weak dimension that will become active dimension. You can see here now. So these 2 dimensions I have changed it so that it becomes a strong dimension, that is 50. This blue color shows that it is an active dimension. So here you can see now, earlier it was 4 auto dimensions, now you can see only 2. So similarly you wanted to change this also means you can change it. You can change it into 20. This also I wanted to change it into 20. Okay, so this is how you have to make these dimensions, weak dimensions to be in the active dimension. Okay, instead of that, why not I can create the sketch in the exactly 0 position? Yes, certainly we can create it. So that's what we are going to see now. So now I'm going for curve option, select all, control A and delete it. Okay, right, now we have seen the rectangle by 2 points. By 2 points means one corner and second corner we are giving. Now we are going to see about the second option. On the rectangle, by 3 points we have option. That means first point I am going to give, the length I am going to give. So length I have chosen now. So this is the first option what we have seen now. Okay, right. So now we are going to see about the second option by 3 points. So now I selected it, first point, and the height whatever I want I can choose it, and the width whatever I want I can choose it. You can feed in this way, or else I will delete this, go for curve and select Ctrl A and delete it. Okay, now I'm going for rectangle option, the same option I'm going. So first point, the 00 point I have selected now. The width it is asking, the width I am giving it as 100. Suppose tab key, if you press one tab to another tab it will move. Height I wanted to give, height I wanted to give it as 100. Okay, let me keep it as 75. That will make you a difference. So you can keep like this. So this is how you wanted to create it. You can create it. Angle, it's a 90 degree. Like this means 90 degree, it will come like this. Suppose you wanted to make it as 0, it will come like this. Suppose you want to take it as minus 90, it will take like this. Okay, so now I wanted to make it as 0, it will come like this. Okay, all right. So now you can give middle bar OK button. So the sketch will create like this. See here you got a angle of 0.00 because of the parameter itself we have defined that angle. That's why it comes with a 0 degree angle. This is also not correct. So you no need to give such a dimensions. So to avoid this, what we need to do, we have to use the geometrical constraint that we will see in the upcoming classes. Okay, all right. So now we are going to see about the third option. So in the rectangle we have a from center point. This from center point means I will delete this existing curves. Suppose you have rotated like this and you wanted to come back to the same sketch orientation, means make a right click, orient view to sketch. That option will let you to come back to the sketch orientation view. Okay, or else you can press shift and F8. Okay, now it came back to the shift, now it came back to the sketch orientation. So now I'm going for the rectangle. So from the center I'm going to create some rectangle, means you can go for it. This is the center point of the rectangle. This is the width. This is the height. Okay. So this is how you can create it. For example, I will create one more thing. You are going to give the middle mouse button. Now you are going to give the middle point of the rectangle and the width of the rectangle and height of the rectangle. Okay, first you are going to define width, then you are going to define height. Okay, this is how you can create it. So there are three options. All these three options we have seen now. I will delete this curve. Let's see about a line option. So in the line, so 1 point, second point, that's it. So a single piece of line only we can create it. That is what the line option. So again I will create it one more line from here to here. So the line will terminate from one point to another point. That is called line option. Suppose if you want to create a continuous line, as we seen earlier, profile of a line have to be selected. Now we will see about the arc option. In the arc option, we have two options. One is 3 points. So the first option I'm going, first point, second point, third point. First point, second point, third point. So similarly, you can create in any direction, you can create the arc. That is what arc option. Suppose you wanted to go for the arc, you wanted to create the arc from the particular center point, means suppose I have a line here. You just from this middle point I wanted to create an arc, means that time you can go for this center point arc. Center point here in the snap point you have to choose this middle point actually. So I have chosen the middle point. Now I am going to start my arc from this middle point only, so that I have started it. So this is my start point, this is my end point. By this way you can use this option. Okay, so now we are going for the circle. So in the circle we are going to see about two options. One is circle center point and diameter. For example, I am giving a point here and it will ask you to specify the diameter. Now I am giving 200, means I will get 200 mm. Okay. All right. Suppose I wanted to create from this exact center point means what you can do. Already we have a control point there. Select like this. So the diameter whatever you wanted to specify, you can specify it. So now I wanted to specify the diameter as 300 means you can specify 300. Like this you can specify. Suppose you wanted to make a circle for the diameter of 400 means you can give 400. You enter. And where you want to specify, you wanted to specify to this exact center means you can select the center point so that you will get the concentric circle like this. Okay, that is about circle. Deleting. Okay. So in today's session we have seen about profile of a line, rectangle, line, arc and circle. 5 options we have seen now. And other than that we have seen the orient view to sketch. Orient view to sketch lets you to orient the sketch to the correct orientation of the sketch as well. Okay, hope you understand today's session. If you are not subscribed till now, please subscribe to the channel and keep following me. So let's see in the next class. Thank you.